I've always been attracted to the Three Musketeers. It's a classic story. I read the book when I was at school. I grew up watching the Richard Lester version of the movie. I've always loved those kind of swashbuckling films. And it's a kind of film that I've always wanted to make. So for me, it's a real passion of mine, and it has been for a long time. It's a young boy who grows up in the countryside, who dreams of going to the big city and making it big. And he's sent on his way by his father, and he's given the old horse Buttercup to ride, and he goes off to seek his fortune in Paris. And when he's in Paris, which is the big city, and he's never been to a big city like this before, he bumps into these three men who are the Three Musketeers. And originally they don't get on whatsoever, but eventually they become very close friends. And these are the men that D'Artagnan idolizes. He's read books about them, about the kind of heroism that they embody, about the nobility they embody. But he's kind of shocked because the Three Musketeers are a bit kind of down on their luck. They've had hard times, they've become cynical, they've become unenthusiastic about life. And D'Artagnan is this young, burning firebrand of enthusiasm, and he re-energizes them. And together they go on one last great mission, which is basically to save the King and Queen of France from the evil plotting of Cardinal Richelieu and Milady de Winter and the Duke of Buckingham. The opening of our version of the Three Musketeers takes place in Venice, and then the action shifts to Paris. So in a way, Bavaria was perfect because it had a fantastic mix of Italian and French architecture. If you look at something like Herrenchiemsee, for example, where there's a recreation of Versailles, I mean, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's almost identical to Versailles, apart from the fact it's slightly bigger, which makes it easier for filmmaking, obviously, even more spectacular. So the locations were beautiful. That was one reason for Bavaria. And the other reason was that the Bavarian government was very, very kind to us, and they really made it easy for us to go and shoot in these places, which is not always the case. I'm known as an action director, so if I'm going to make the Three Musketeers, you know it's going to have action in it. And I really wanted to kind of step up my game here and present something spectacular that people had never seen before. But I wanted the sword fighting to look real. I mean, that was my approach. We thought about it a lot. How to do the sword fighting, how would it be different, how can we get people really immersed in it and emotionally engaged in it. And I said to Nick, who I designed all the sword fights with, I said, look, build me sword fights that are 100% real. No fake, no wires, no trickery, no CG blades, no plastic blades. I want real swords with people really fighting. 100%. Give me the best sword fights you've ever choreographed. Look at the work you did on Gladiator, Last Samurai, throw those away, give me something better. And he did. The first time I saw the sets in Babelsberg, the thing that came to mind is, damn, they're big. I mean, they are undoubtedly my favorite set that I've ever had built in all the movies I've made. These fantastic three-story, huge ships were wonderful, and they were hugely expensive to make. A lot of effort and time and money went into them. And it would have been a lot easier just to have actors standing against a green screen and then put the ships in digitally. But I felt that would really lack the authenticity of having like these really big sets.